Tiffany. Hey, congratulations for your new film about fate.
Well, thank you so much.
So, wonderful film. Another rom-com under your belt. How does it feel?
Well, it always feels great to get a movie made, and it feels great to get things made that you really love and are so proud of. So I could not be more thrilled.
I know it's a. I want to know this because you had a very successful film with Holiday before. Um, is there a pressure to capture lightning in the bottle again with back to back?
Well, I don't know if pressure's the right word. I mean, you're definitely hopeful and optimistic, and I think people do have a certain expectation that, oh, she wrote this and I really loved it, so I really want to love the next thing. This was the first time in my career when I got the from the writer of Holiday in the trailer. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that's exciting. I hope people like it as much as they like Holiday.
Well, I'm certainly would because Holiday was very successful in its own way. So tell us where the original idea for About Fate came from this time around.
Well, this time around, I was actually approached by the director and the producer who had read Holiday. This was even before Holiday had come out and was, such a so exciting, fortunate success. They loved the script. They fell in love with the script and the writing, and reached out to me. Also, they knew of my relationship with Emma, and I think the plan all along was putting this puzzle together. If we can get Tiffany and she writes a script, that it might be exciting to Emma, and then we can get Emma. So kind of all those puzzle pieces just fell into place, and here we are with our third movie now.
It is funny. It's amazing that that this is the third time working with Emma Roberts for yourself. And I usually tell people if you work with somebody or meet them for the third time, you might as well be the president of their fan club.
Oh my gosh, I definitely could take on that role with pleasure. Emma is amazing. We are always talking ideas. We're working on our fourth, and hopefully this will just continue, and we'll be, getting Academy Awards when we're in our 70s, because we've made so many great projects together.
That is great to hear. So tell me about your love for romantic comedies, or do you secretly not love them? You just get stuck with them.
No, no, no. I am an absolute ultimate fan of romantic comedies. I am a child of John Hughes, so I've been waiting my whole life for Jake Ryan to pull up in a red Porsche outside my front door and take me away and make all my dreams come true. So I have loved them since I was a kid. Say Anything, John Hughes, Cameron Crowe. And then, of course, When Harry Met Sally to me is the ultimate romantic comedy. Nora Ephron is my writing goddess. I've just always loved them. They're my favorite movies to watch. They're my favorite movies to write. That doesn't mean I don't want to do other things as well, but my heart will always be with romantic comedy and a good love story.
So how do you craft a good romantic comedy? Is it the romance part, or is the comedy part that you have to come up with first?
Oh, that's a good question. I think you have to have the romance first. You have to think about how you're going to approach the relationship. And then once you know what the relationship is, who those characters are going to be, then I think the comedy moments start to arise from that and those situations that you're going to put those characters in. I think it would be a little bit more challenging to go, I have all these funny set piece ideas. Let me see what people I can pop into them.
So which side is actually harder for you to handle?
I think it's the challenging part is, especially in this day and age, is how do you write an original romantic comedy? I like to call it out, and I called it out in Holiday. Like, we know they're getting together from the poster, so now it's how do you surprise the audience? How do you take them on a ride that's going to be unexpected and fun and clever and exciting, even though we think we know we're eventually going to get.
I was gonna say, most rom-coms, take the same formula, but for yourself, you try to do something different every single, or at least something different from the other movies.
Always, you're always looking for a way to do it differently. Just, yes, what is that fresh way? And now they're doing a lot of things with mixing genres, right? Like the romantic comedy in a western, the romantic comedy in the in the horror genre. It's, how do you shake things up and keep audiences surprised in this genre that I think at the end of the day everybody just loves a good rom-com, right? You just want to see them kiss at the end. That's what I live for.
I've seen both films, and it's funny is that you seem to be like a film aficionado. You like to throw in like a film trivia or film hints, like this one. There's that constant theme of Breakfast at Tiffany's. Is that one of your favorite films?
It's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie. I've got Audrey Hepburn over my fireplace. I've got Breakfast at Tiffany's outside my office down the hall. Yes, absolutely.
What? So, are you a film buff? Is that why you keep on throwing these trivias into a lot of your films like this?
Well, I think I would consider myself a romantic comedy film buff. I wouldn't want to be quizzed across all genres. I would certainly fail miserably, but I could hold my own in a trivia competition about romantic comedies. I think I do pretty well.
Well, you are doing well in this case. Now, both films have a little bit of similarities here and there. Tell me about your holiday obsession.
That is so funny. I guess I am turning into the holiday rom-com queen a little bit. I think I just am a girl that loves the holidays. I think holidays, inherently are romantic or hopefully romantic, right? We're always like, who's going to be my Halloween date? Who's going to be my Christmas date? Who might I get to kiss on New Year? I think holidays and romance genuinely go hand in hand.
I was gonna say, isn't the holiday supposed to be like the most depressing time of the year
Well,
for
they
people?
are. I think that's why I'm trying to bring a little light and joy and love into them. Because if you're home on New Year's Eve alone, which I have been on more than a time or two, at least I can watch other people fall in love.
I almost got a sense like this, there's a little bit of a personal experience that you write into your story. Am I reaching too far in this?
Oh no, I would say more than just a little. Yes, I am as at the moment and continue to be the proverbial single girl who is, remaining forever hopeful that, like I said, Jake Ryan or somebody doesn't even have to be in a Porsche. He could pull up on his motorcycle, his bicycle, whatever he's got going on out there. But I remain eternally hopeful, a hopeful romantic.
Well, then tell us this because I noticed it was in both films in its own way. What is about an engagement right before New Year's?
What is it
What
about?
what what's the lure? Because it seems like this is it kind of happened in both films in its own way that there has to be some kind of proposal before New Year's. Is it like deep down inside you would like to get it?
Well, I have been engaged and I had an engagement that actually did happen on New Year's. I would say, but it was about 20 minutes after midnight. So it was the least romantic New Year's proposal in the history of proposals, probably. And I ended up not marrying that guy, which was the best decision of my life. So maybe somewhere deep down, I'm trying to work out my disappointing New Year's Eve proposal issues. But I think that it's all around that special occasion, right? It's like pomp and circumstance and party and festivity, and you're in a beautiful dress and you're hopefully with your friends and celebration, and it does feel like a very romantic kind of moment to pop the question.
So how involved are you just beyond writing when it comes to these type of productions?
Well, I've been really fortunate in that I've had directors who have valued the partnership of a writer. Most of, especially my last two, I want to say my last three movies, were pretty much what was in the script ended up on screen, which is always a joy as a writer. And I've had just wonderful directors that have wanted me on set. I've been on the sets. Directing is something that is hopefully in my very near future. I've been striving for it and look forward to directing my next couple of scripts. So definitely have been in partnership, and being there to improve things in the moment when they need to be, to write on the fly when we're losing a location or something hasn't gone the way that was planned. So I've been really lucky in that what I have set out to achieve on the page has, for the most part, ended up on the screen.
Now, you didn't always start off as a writer. You started off as an actor first.
I did. I was an actor for a few minutes before I transitioned to writing.
So how did you transition or wanted to start into film writing?
Well, I like to say that I had a lot of little parts in very big movies. So I got just enough of a taste of the business to know that if I was never cast in that big role, I would write my own parts and make my own projects. And that's when I started dipping a toe in writing. And then I was in LA and actually ended up sitting in Chicago for a few years, waiting for that New Year's proposal. And I had some time to write. And it just so happened that the first couple of things I wrote, had some initial success. And I ended up winning an ABC Disney Writing Fellowship and a Nichols Fellowship. And I was like, oh, maybe I should take this writing thing seriously. And once I kind of made that decision, I didn't look back and have been so lucky to have transitioned to be a professional writer.
What's the greatest challenge for yourself as a professional writer?
Writing. Actually sitting down and writing. It's like the best thing and the worst thing. I don't know. Some writers can do it so easily. It's getting started is always the hardest part of writing something new. I love rewriting. Rewriting is my favorite thing when you have a draft and now you can really like roll up your sleeves and dive in. But starting is the hardest thing. It's the biggest challenge.
I'm trying to imagine you yourself as Tiffany, trying to start and being distracted or developing ADD, just trying to get yourself behind a keyboard.
100%. I think I have to read the news again. I have to check deadline. I think the mail's here. Yeah, whatever. Another cup of coffee. Now my coffee's cold. I should probably go refresh. Yeah.
There's a lot of little things that make your movies great. How do you get your inspirations for your stuff?
Well, definitely a lot of real life. I have a lot of really fun, wonderful, funny people around me. So we're always, comparing stories, gathering intel. And I really love, one of my favorite things that I try to bring to my scripts is giving smaller characters a lot, at least a reason for being. I love setups and I love payoffs. And that's always a fun way for me. Just those little moments in life that you think that was a funny moment, scrolling through, Tinder and seeing somebody that on it. Like that didn't happen to me, but it happened to a friend of mine, and, ultimately end up meeting that person. Just little moments like that get sprinkled. I love looking for places to take those moments in real life and spread them throughout.
Does comedy come naturally for you?
I think it comes naturally to me on the page. I don't know that if I'm a yuck in real life. I think I'm fun. I don't know that I'm necessarily super funny, but I try. But yeah, on the page, coming up with that great funny moment, funny line, funny reaction. That's like one of my most favorite things to do. If I'm making myself laugh, then I'm like, okay, because I'm a tough laugh.
Now, of course, I know you've written stuff, on other projects before that's not rom-com. Like as I stare behind the reflection, I see that Nancy Drew poster there, which was one of your projects. Do you want to stay in the rom-com industry, or do you like to basically take it, movie by movie and try to diverge as much as possible?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I love romantic comedy. I love love stories and relationship stories, and I think that will always be a part of what I do. On the flip side, I have written a thriller that I love. I have, written and sold several television pilots in different genres. So I think it's always fun to mix it up, but I feel like no matter what I do, there's going to be that romantic core love story in there somewhere.
Well, how about this? Is your next project a romantic comedy, or is it going to be something else?
Romantic comedy. Yeah, I'm dipping my toes in a couple of other romantic comedies. But once once you start doing something and you do it somewhat successfully, then you get sought out to continue doing that successful thing. So I look forward to more romantic comedies, shaking up the genre, and then branching out and doing other things as well.
Wow, that is terrific, and I love your process. But I'm very curious because out of About Fate or Holiday, your characters seem to get into some embarrassing moments. Do you come up with that fictionalized, like out of the blue, or some of that does actually happen to you?
You know, a little bit of both. So I would say more so in like I've never gotten locked out of a dry cleaner and broken in, although I would definitely consider it, for my sister's veil. Um, I would say a lot more of the things in Holiday actually happen. I lead a pretty hilarious life unintentionally. Things just happen, and then they find their way into your projects. So definitely some of both.
Well, that is great because we always like writers who have interesting experiences, and that's what it sounds like
I
with
try. It's because I don't spend enough time in my office actually writing. I'm out in the world getting into trouble.
Most excellent. Well, Tiffany, let me ask one more question about fate, and I'm very curious if it actually works. Tell me, orange slices as candles, is that a real thing? Because I feel like I should try that after watching your film for some unknown reason.
It's so funny that you say that. It just occurred to me people might actually try it. No, you can Google it. It works. If
Really?
you fill it half an orange and scoop it out and pour the olive oil in there and get a little. Now, I can't vouch for the broom strings as a wick, but I did think that was pretty clever in the moment. You're just making me think of this. I wonder if there needs to be a disclaimer. They should have added a disclaimer to this movie. Please don't burn your kitchen down by trying this.
So, so honestly, you have never tried it
I
yourself.
didn't try it. I didn't try it. I probably should have. I Googled it. I
You
Googled.
Google.
I was Googled fun and interesting way to make candles. Yes.
Oh boy.
I know. I might be in trouble. You
Well,
heard it
if we ever hear a story about orange slice candles, we will know where they got their inspiration from.
Hope I don't get sued.
You'll be just fine.
I'll be fine.
Well, Tiffany, I really appreciate you speaking to us about this film about fate. It's I want to say it makes me feel all giddy and very. I never had a feeling on a romantic comedy like this since I ever watched Serendipity, and I think that's a
One of my
wonderful feeling.
favorites. One of my favorites. Yay. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. That gives me the warm fuzzies. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And it was so fun to chat with you.
It is very fun, and you know what? I can't wait till to see you coming up with another rom-com or working with Emma for the fourth time. We'll see.
Okay, we'll look forward to chatting with you when we get that going.
Okay, terrific. Next time. Thank you.
Next time. Thanks so much. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye now.
Bye.